Keshav, the path of knowledge you described seems superior to actions driven by desire. Then why are you urging me to engage in this horrific war? Your seemingly contradictory words have confused my mind. Please guide me towards that one path which will bring me the greatest welfare.
I have already explained that a man can achieve liberation by choosing any one of the two types of faith. Some follow the path of knowledge, Gyan Yoga, while others follow the path of action, Karma Yoga. One cannot liberate oneself from the consequences of action by merely abstaining from duties. The path to perfection also does not lie in renunciation alone. Even for a moment, no one can exist without performing action. Every person is forced to act based on the qualities he has acquired under the influence of the three modes of material nature. A person who forcibly suppresses his senses but whose mind thinks about sensual pleasures is certainly lost and deludes himself. Such a person is actually a pretender. O Arjun, one who is self-controlled, who has no attachment to the fruits of his actions, who controls his senses with his mind and follows the path of Karma Yoga by fulfilling all duties, is far superior. It is better to keep performing prescribed duties than remaining idle. Without work, even the basic well-being of the body cannot be maintained. Perform your duties without attachment, solely for the welfare of others. Work done with selfish motives lead to bondage in the material world. Therefore, dedicate all your actions to God, like a Karma Yogi, and you will undoubtedly remain free from bondage while fulfilling your duties. At the beginning of creation, the Supreme Creator blessed humans and declared, "Always perform sacrifices joyfully, and that would help you in achieving happiness, fulfilling all desires, and attaining prosperity and salvation." The celestial gods will be pleased with your sacrificial offerings and will bless you in return. This mutual exchange of goodwill between humans and gods will result in prosperity and liberation for all. The celestial gods, who are the controllers of all essential elements of life, being satisfied with your sacrifice and hospitality, will provide you with all the things you want for offerings. But one who enjoys such gifts without showing gratitude to the gods is verily a thief. The humble saints and devotees accept food only after offering it to gods. Therefore, even while experiencing the pleasure inherent in food, they remain free from sin. But those who intake food for personal sense enjoyment certainly incur sins. All living beings depend on food grains for their survival, and food grain is produced by rain. Rain originates from sacrifices, and sacrifices are rooted in the prescribed duties of human beings. Prescribed duties of mankind are outlined in the Vedas, and the essence of all Vedic wisdom originates from the Supreme Lord Himself. Thus, the eternal divine peace and bliss that pervades the universe is eternally established in acts of sacrifice and sustained by the performance of prescribed duties. Therefore, Arjun, a person who neglects his prescribed duties, as outlined in the Vedic scriptures, and lives solely for gratifying his senses, leads a sinful, worthless, and meaningless life. On the other hand, a person who is absorbed in the self, ever blissful and content, always remains detached while performing all sorts of duties. Such enlightened yogis, liberated from attachment and selfish motives, neither crave for specific tasks nor despise any work. They remain independent, free from worldly dependencies and personal attachments while engaged in action. Therefore, one should fulfill his duties without being attached to the outcomes of the actions. Only by performing actions without personal motives, one can reach the Supreme God. Just as King Janak and many other exemplary figures who attain perfection by working for the welfare of the people, you too should carry out your prescribed duties to set a good example for society. Common people adhere to the example set by influential figures. Whatever standards great souls establish, through their exemplary conduct, common men adopt and strive to follow. O Parth, there is no duty prescribed for me in the three worlds. There is nothing I lack or need to gain, and yet I am active and diligently carry out my duties. If I were not careful in carrying out my duties carefully, or I fail to act, then the entire human race and civilization will take me as a standard and follow me. If I do not perform my prescribed duties, then the entire world will become corrupted and thrown into chaos. People would stray from righteousness, and hybrid offsprings would be born everywhere. I will become the cause of unrest and the downfall of human civilization. O Bharat, just as ignorant people perform their duties with attachment to the results and driven by desires, the wise should also act, but without attachment, solely for setting an example for the masses and guiding them. Wise individuals should patiently guide those who act out of ignorance, who seek to enjoy the fruits of their labor. They should not criticize their conduct or confuse them, but instead, they should perform their own duties with the spirit of Karma Yoga. The soul, deluded by ego, falsely believes he is the one performing actions. But in reality, all actions are driven by the three modes of material nature. O mighty armed one, those who know the ultimate truth are truly wise and can discern the difference between actions driven by the modes of nature and those performed with devotion in the spirit of Karma Yoga. Such individuals never act out of attachment to results or attraction to sensual pleasures. Those who are ignorant and deluded by the illusions of material nature pursue worldly activities motivated by the desire for rewards. The wise, despite knowing and understanding this, should not try to disturb or discourage these people. Fix your consciousness upon me. Dedicate all your actions to me and perform your duties without selfish desires. Free yourself from your mental griefs and engage in battle. Those who always have complete faith in my words and perform their prescribed duties as per my teachings without envy are liberated from the consequences of their actions. But those who harbor resentment towards scriptural teachings and do not follow them have gone astray, are lost, and are on the path to their own ruin. Even wise individuals act in accordance with their inherent nature, molded by impressions accumulated over countless lifetimes. Their nature is actually shaped by the three modes of material nature, a mix of goodness, passion, and ignorance. Therefore, it is impossible for anyone to act contrary to their intrinsic nature. Due to one's inherent nature, individuals develop attachment or aversion to certain objects of the senses, which arise from past impressions. These attachments and aversions can prevent self-realization, so yogis should strive to transcend them. It is preferable to carry out one's own responsibilities, regardless of how insignificant or difficult they may appear, than to take on those of another, even if they seem more alluring. Straying from one's designated path can result in substantial harm.
O descendant of Varshne, why does a person succumb to commit sinful acts, even unwillingly, as if compelled by some unseen force?
Desire and lust, born from the mode of passion, are the two powerful enemies that compels one to sinful acts. These forces are never satiated and transform into anger. These are the greatest enemies of humanity, devouring the entire civilization. Just as smoke covers fire, dust obscures a mirror, and a worm conceals an embryo, in the same manner, lust and desire obscure the pure consciousness of a man in varying degrees. In this way, lust and desire veil the consciousness and wisdom of a man. This mortal enemy of a wise man, like fire, burns perpetually and is never satiated. Lust takes control of the senses, mind, and intellect of a man and defeats his wisdom. It keeps him confused and misdirected at every step. Therefore, O Arjun, best of the Bharats, first conquer your senses and eliminate these destroyers of knowledge and self realization. Completely vanquish lust and desire. The senses are superior to the gross body. The mind is superior to the senses. The intellect is still superior to the mind, and the soul is far superior to the intellect. Therefore, O mighty armed Arjun, knowing oneself to be beyond the body, senses, mind, and intellect, use your willpower to stabilize your mind in the self. With spiritual strength, conquer this insatiable enemy of lust.